Up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screen and LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump I won't forget. Buy high, die hodling. The gen brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale, get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shady clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die hodling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. Almost gone, greed's the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. With the crack in the glass, risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to aim again and again. Buy high, die hodling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. If I crash, at least I tried. In this wild west of blockchain rights. I'll be trading till the lights go out. Charts are noise, but I live for the sound. One candle spike, and I'm back in town. Crypto's a fight, and I'm 10 toes down. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. But I will load.
Good morning, guys. Let's get a check on my audio really quick. All right, we're good. Okay. Who we got here? We got Coma, of course, always first. Sterling. We got Wayne, Noah, Blockchain. What's up, man? We got Sunny, HRJ. How you doing, bro? Good morning, bro. Eric, what's up? Curtis, you're on your stair stepper. Right on, man. Getting healthy while trying to get wealthy. We got Keen Bean and Villain. All right. Well, I'm in bear mode today, so I'll go through as to why. We just had an SFP after hitting the April 7th low right here. And I'll go back and so I can show you where it came from. But it's called the April 7th low for a reason. If you look at April 7th, you can see like it was the low of right before a rally back up when we had a falling wedge structure. If I go here on the daily, you can see it quite clearly, right? So these, when you tap previous lows like this, you gotta watch them as a form of confluence for potential rejections, right? And we just tapped one now, and getting above that is actually considered to be fairly bullish because it could lead us back up to our supply. We can start mitigating the supply above us. We've created a parabolic curve, or also known as like a fish hook. We have this kind of coming up and meeting the lows of a supply concern. So this could be what sparks a potential drop back down and acceptance into our like 34-day previous value area that we left. So we were in a big make it or break it moment, but it seems like it might be a break it moment. We're not 100% certain yet, but I talk about this all the time in the channel where we see a break structure or a break leading out of a valley area, right? And this is our valley area high to our valley area low. And if we see it act as a form of support with the higher high, it's a form of confirmation that we could be going into it like a trend bound move. It's like one trend bound rule telling us that we could be going out of this value area and revisiting a previous one. And if we were to revisit a previous one, we'd have a fight in our hands. We have to get past like this 12-hour order block and this supply here that could induce a reversal. And we're kind of like tapping the floor of that now. We have this strong high on the 6-hour, and we got liquidity above like 84.7, and we have our value area low on the 75-day value area low at 86.6. So if we were to be going up, if we were to confirm the move up, we'd have to have a close above our local high and then have all these barrier concerns along the way, but we'd be targeting around 86.6. That's bullish case scenario, and it seems like this S&P could be invalidating that now. We needed to have the close above this high in order for us to assume that we could have a target like that, with all those barriers in mind. But I've been on bear mode for a while. It's just a matter of like waiting for the right entry. Like after like losing my last trade, I've been a little bit more careful and haven't really gotten any structure to define a strong reversal yet. Like we've been creating these little demand zones, inducing ranges here and then here, right? Inducing this range, inducing this range internally. This could be the moment where we end up having a full-on reversal, because here is our demand that kind of helped us up, right? This demand was kind of created when we were fighting against the 50-day EMA, and we finally broke through it. Then we retested both the demand zone and the EMA. So a close below 72,805 would come with the confluence of leaving the intraday 15-minute orb, losing the VWAP, losing this young, very young value area, having an SFP on the top, and having acceptance back inside this daily order block, or this daily value area, this 1-day value area, and losing that 50-day EMA and mitigating this demand. So like tons and tons of confidence will come from just a 15-minute candle close below this key level here. And what I would like to see, it's not up to me, of course, it's up to the market, but what I'd like to see is a bounce prior, like a sweep, maybe a bounce prior, testing the value area low, maybe the VWAP, and this value area high. This is all kind of intertwined together, 3 forms of confluence that could act as a form of resistance if we do get a bounce. And then the close below, so we can have a good internal level for our stop loss guard that'll be guarded by all 3 of those confluences and structure. So we'd have really, really good risk to reward ratio. Anyone who took the SFP already, this is what you're going to want to beg for. Basically, you want to see that continuation, so then you can move your stop loss from here to that newly formed internal strong high. But this would give us a bearish change of character. So that's kind of all we're really asking for. But along the way down, we have a lot of barriers, concerns. But what I like about the same barrier concerns that we're worried about is they're going to help you understand when your target can evolve to go much further down, especially when we get to like this 34-day value area high at like 70,350. If we get a close below here and see it act as resistance, then that would give us a target extension all the way back down to 65.6, right? So, but until we get there, we have to watch out for this uptrending buyer's momentum, where there could be buyer's interest in the order books, right? It's been uptrending since we kind of left the 250-day value area high. And local demand concerns too. Like this one would be pretty much mitigated from the close below our key level. But we would have to watch like this consolidative point where this value area high is at 71.9 or 71, might as well just say 72,000. because by then we'd probably have the confluence of the uptrending momentum with that value area high. If we break past that, then I'll be looking at the 34-day value area high. So this is like a big boss fight here. And then this is the most important one for a really large target extension. And at that point, if we have a break of structure leading into it, you could add to your winning trade. And then, yeah, down we go. We'll see how we go from there. These parabolic curves, these kind of tell you a story of how liquidity is being formed too. Right? We're stacking liquidity throughout this journey, and we keep taking from the upside. So if you're thinking like a market maker, you know, you might have already exited out that SFP, and you'd be looking for liquidity pool below us for a new entry opportunity. Kind of replaying the same event that occurred in the last cycle. If we zoom out, or if I just pull up another chart here. In the last cycle, we had that the same kind of scenario. We also traded that short, but it was back in like 2022. Where are we? Go back and this guy. We had a parabolic curve here, a little bit more aggressive, and we had a low time frame double top that we jumped in on. We really wanted to have this break, right? And then like acceptance back inside of this valley area at the time, right? To give us a target extension to that valley area low. And yeah, it was a pretty epic trade until eventually we lost it. We went to the downside. And I think if we were to redo this again, it would be between like 55 and 52K. Like 52K being the low, 55K being around the high. Or 59, I guess, would be the high in our current situation. So if this happens, I think that this would represent us potentially going down to, 52 to K and ranging between 59 and 52. So yeah, I think we're here relative to the last cycle. And this is the moment we're trying to front run that drop. Let's see, look at the chat here. We have, what's up, Josh? We got James, Bull Runner. I got Jillian. What's up, Jilly? Wayne, Ondo Poncho, JT Taco. How you guys doing? The loss was refreshing. Feels like we can start winning again. Yeah. Back to our next win streak. But yeah, we're kind of like sitting on our hands kind of moment, waiting for like a couple of green candles and a lower low. Maybe come down a little bit first, then retest, then lower low. Congrats to anyone who's already in. The SFP moment was good. I really wanted to see a loss of the orb first. Just like the early first liquidity usually gets taken, and we end up taking like the liquidity from around like 1 a.m.-ish Eastern before losing the orb and coming down. But we still are above the 50-day EMA. We still are above this demand zone, so we can't flip bearish until we confirm bearish first. If you front run this, then awesome. You just got to be aware of the fact that this could come back up against you. So if you see any opposing structure, like even just a close back above the VWAP, could be the end of this idea of us going down. And I'd be really cautious if you're in a short during that moment. So VWAP will be your best friend if you're already in an existing short from up here. or even just a low time frame bullish change of character off of this local buy confluence. If we don't get the pullback, let's say we just get the close, and you're not willing to wait for a potential like retest, because the retest could come below this area, retest here, then lower low. You can enter off that, and you would have a better R&R scenario than someone who took this as your stop loss. This would obviously come with a really, really strong invalidation point, so your chances of being stopped out be a lot lower. But the overall target, yeah, you would have to watch this value area high, and then after we get acceptance of that value area, it'll be a lot easier for us to target like this low again. And even though that's a really significant move, it'd only be about a 1 to 4. So you'd be I say only 1 to 4 is pretty good, but it's a long wait. You could have a lot of opposing confluences for that 1 to 4. So you would rather have a higher R&R scenario, like something like this. So 1 to 8. So if you're forced out halfway through your trade, you'd still like 4x your risk. So that's why I'm kind of hoping for that, retest kind of scenario of two candle pullback, lower low. So we can have like a 1 to 8.5-ish risk to reward ratio. And if anyone's in an existing short from like the SFP or the engulfing response that we had here, because we create a bearish order block right here. Yeah, you're gonna want this so you can either A, you can add to your existing position, or B, just move your stop loss to like roughly around break even or above the new pullback, depending on your entry. It's a waiting game. But I'm waiting on 15-minute structure to find this entry. Let's see what happens. So far we have a green candle on the 15. We just need to get 2 and then a lower low. It'll be definitely an internal key level or stop loss guard, but Coma talking about buy walls. 75K, it's got 550 Bitcoin. 75.9 is asking for 850 Bitcoin, and 74 point. Oh, those are sell walls. Okay, so you got a lot of sell walls above us. Okay. That could help suppress the price to go lower, but it is also a form of liquidity. They could draw price towards it. Okay. While we wait on Bitcoin, we can look at other assets here. We talked a little bit about IMX during the trade hunting call this morning. We had, we were talking, I guess during the live, we were talking about this being a key level at 1649, and that we could potentially come back up for like a sweep, but we didn't. We just broke the key level instead, and then we rotated down to the point of control before having a bullish flip right here, and then a bullish change of character here off that point of control. So this was a warning sign here, and this was the definite like get the heck out kind of indicator here, which is kind of flush with the entry point. So that one worked out really well. We have a member who's kicking ass right now with an average around 15 cents. So I think he's kind of hoping for us to keep going up. But here, if we look locally, we have a new key level. So we had this SFP. We're looking at the hourly time frame, by the way. We had this SFP here at the value area high. So that's one bearish indication that we could be going down. In about 5 minutes, we're about to create like an hourly bearish order block, assuming this stays engulfing. And our key level is now here for potential shorts on IMX. And we've already got that kind of structure here. So the pathing here we can watch out for. I would first zoom out a bit and grab this uptrending momentum. We can delete this. We can delete this. It's no longer needed anymore. We have internal that broke here. Internal momentum. So the pathing, if we break this low at 1671, we'd watch the order books to see if there's buy wall here alongside this trend line in case there are buyers still trying to maintain this momentum. If we do get a bounce, it could mitigate the wall, break through it, and then be watching the point of control as our next concern, but we'll be targeting ultimately 1562, which would work very well in confluence with Bitcoin if Bitcoin confirms its low break. So if you want Bitcoin to be, Bitcoin's the boss of most assets, so you'd want to make sure that Bitcoin confirms its move with any of your altcoin trades so that you can use its correlation effect, on-chain pairing effect to drive your asset down. I'll save this chart. So that's IMX, Bitcoin. Delete some of these charts here. Today, we're launching a copy trader bot, spot only. If anyone's interested, I'll be doing an announcement on how you can get it all set up in the Discord. But yeah, it'll be ran by both me and AI. So AI will be kind of like working on it during the night. I'll be monitoring it during the day. But basically, yeah, it's a DCA spot trading bot. So it'd just be, its goal is to grow your USDT balance. We'll have a futures one eventually, but you're focusing on spot, easy mode, safe, consistent growth. Okay, we're getting a pullback here, pretty strong one. That's why we wait for confirmations for shorts. And we don't want to be above that VWAP if we're looking for shorts. I'm going to stay below it. I wouldn't mind us consolidating a bit here to build supply, to make our position even more guarded before going down. But I'd like it to be below the VWAP. BNB was a request by AAA. Well, let's look at BNB. See how it's doing. Okay, it looks like it's kind of front running a similar structure that we're banking on with Bitcoin. We have this red box zone. What did I get that from? Supply. Okay, so we have a supply zone up here, right, in confluence with the 60-day point of control at 695. We hit the floor of that supply, and we built a descending double top so far. We mitigated our demand right here. So some things are showing signs of relative weakness with BNB over Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gotten that higher high, whereas BNB has not, right? But in Bitcoin has not mitigated its demand yet, and BNB has. So there's a lot of signs of weakness here. Its key level is actually the floor of that demand for a bearish change of character. And what this would look like in a macro view is failure of acceptance into a 60-day valley area. So if we have that, like this is usually an indication of acceptance right here when we have that break of structure leading in. But after hitting our head off this supply barrier, it could drive us out. So we'll see what happens. But basically, yeah, this is at $670.22. If we got to close below that then we'd have a confirmation. But so far, we just swept it. We had an SFP. Let me get my market structure indicator so you can see it a little more better. We got invite only, market structure from 11x. And change the colors so you guys can see it better too. Turn off the internal fibs. All right, green. Going down. There we go. That's a little easier to see now. So here's the S&P I was talking about. This suggests a target of this high here, potentially up to here, but we have a lot of opposing confluences, and Bitcoin could drive it down if we can't get above this VWAP. So what I'm kind of hoping for, if you're looking for shorts with BNB, is like kind of like what we're talking about with Bitcoin, where we have a pullback before the break, so we can use that internal structure for a stop loss guard. If we zoom out on this guy a little bit further, you see we have deviated away from a 95-day value area, and we're like trying to get acceptance inside of this value area here. We have pretty steep momentum. We can delete these highs here. Kind of like a rising wedge posture, like a squeeze event. Likely creating divergence. Yeah, bearish divergence. So yeah, if we get that confirmation, I'll be first watching like this low here as a barrier concern, between like $662 and $658. After breaking past that, next barrier concern will be at $645.03. So if I were to draw a pathing for you, it could look something like this. Loss of this momentum, maybe come up, get a bounce from that. And then this is be the key moment where you'd want to see acceptance into that value area when you're looking for, if you're in existing shorts, because then you can get that rotation down to the value area low at $603. But there's a really strong volume shelf here. So at that point of control, I'll be pretty cautious. Like $630 is going to be a big key area that could prevent it from going down any further. And that could just be the liquidity grab before actually getting a more macro move up. We got S&P makes things a little bit short-term bullish, but yeah, this is what I'd be waiting for personally. With my bias on Bitcoin stance and positioning and everything, I'll be waiting for that confirmation for the break here. So a 15-minute candle close below $670.22. Then using the most recent proper pullback as your stop loss guard. And right now that is this, but it could be here. The R&R is important. The R&R is not great right now, so you would want to have that pullback. Bitcoin's trying to get above that VWAP. Let's pull up the chat here. Good morning, Alex. How you doing, bro? You look sexy on Mondays. I put my hat on today. The kids are home from school. So it's March break. So we have a good week of chaos ahead of us. What are some areas of support for Tesla? Looking to sell some shares this week, but curious what target achievable this week. Yeah, we can look at Tesla. You've got a lot of traders in here. HRJ is great for learning about Elliott waves. If you want like master Fibonacci, Alex of Crypto's your guy. And you want me to look at the liquidity heat map? There's a. You can look at the 24-hour first. Refresh this. Andrew, what's up, man? I'll be getting back to you in the DMs there shortly, Andrew. A bunch of newly added liquidity above us on the 24-hour. A lot of people aping into shorts. For good reason, too. We had that really good SFP at the top. Lost the orb. Anyone who's jumping in late, yeah, just wait for what I suggested, like pullback. Anyone who's in a short right now, you want to be below this VWAP. You don't want to be above it. Kind of lost its momentum, and we're kind of testing it right now. So newly added liquidity is suggesting that we have a bias to come up here again and take it. We can zoom out, see how much time has passed inside this range to dictate what kind of time frame we should look at for the heat map on CoinGlass. 39 days. So we can go to liquidation heat map here. Get our time. A wraparound for 39 days would be like 3 months. We can look at the 1 month as well. Oh, I gotta log in. Okay. Sec here, guys. Do. Wait for it to prompt me again. While we wait on that login, look at the new poll again. Refresh this. It's probably gonna make me log into this too. Yeah, whenever my power goes out, I always have to. Sometimes I have to log back into all my stuff. Yeah, we're starting to get back into optimism. Like tapping into it now, which requires us to get above around like the 0.5 level on the new pool chart. But we have that supply concern that can drive us right back down. And some people think the bottom is already in, but I'm not convinced yet. Sorry guys, still waiting on CoinGlass. It's being slow. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so here's the liquidation heat map on the monthly. So we have a large cluster pooled at 70,000 and 100. And it kind of just doesn't really get cold until 66K. So we can grab the we could potentially bounce back up and grab the newly added liquidity, hit the supply concern, the 12-hour, 8-hour order block, and then come down before confirming our key level, I would much rather us just to go down. like here, we could just like get that break, get our trade in today. But if we instead get it back above the April 7th low at 74.5, we could see something like this before coming down. Consolidation in this area would then likely lead me to believe that we can come up and hit 79,388. It's a 6-hour strong high. If breaking that would turn a lot of people bullish. And then from there, we could end up seeing us get to 86.6. So we have to take things in stages along the way up, just like we would along the way down, seeing our opposing threats. But this move up would come from just a full body candle close above this recently created SFP, like this wick level high at 73,859. It would give us back. It would give us above the orb. It would give us above these highs. It would give us a break of structure, confirming the macro move off this valley area high, the 34-day valley area high. So this is definitely like a big make it or break it moment. It's looking weak right now. It's just a matter of waiting for that confirmation so you're not on the wrong side of the fence when you jump in. Getting in now, it's a little bit like this was a good entry, but jumping in short now could end up getting you in a lot of trouble. So I'd wait it out. Andre, I just hopped in. Do you mind looking at SPX if you haven't already? Yeah, we could look at SPX. Oh, we got a request look at Tesla as well. Let's pull up Tesla's chart first. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Call it NASDAQ. Tesla's getting squeezed between the 50-day and the 200 EMA. I can't stand it when that happens. So we're in a big moment where like we could see like what's called a death cross when the 50 crosses down over the 200. But that will take quite a bit of time for the 50 to catch up to the 200. We're looking at potentially over a week before something like that could happen. And the closer the price action is to the 50, the longer it'll take for something like that to cross, because it would then start to bend the curvature upwards for both assets. I mean, both EMAs. We had a key level drawn here that would flip us bullish last time we looked at it. But we did already flip bullish on the hourly time frame. We had this bullish change of character here when we had this low taken, rotated our key level from here to here. So we have that bullish change of character. We have like a 786 golden pocket retest in confluence with that 200-day EMA here. So this is a strong level of support. So our market structure bias is bullish right now on the hourly, but we do have that opposing threat in our face. So this, I would have rotated to here by now, but it's that ridiculous 50-day EMA that's in our face. And that's why I don't like when you see these squeeze events between price action, because a lot of algorithmic bots respond off of tests off these levels. People have them programmed to buy or sell off of them. So we had to watch out for potential sell orders being flooded in after we test that 50-day EMA. So like a close above this high would come with the confluence of likely breaking above the 50-day EMA. And that high is at like 416.32. And then we can see a rotation back up to the valley area high as 452, while being very mindful of the barrier concern at 438, which is this point of control here. This valley area is, how old is this thing? 175 days old. The reason why I don't have my value area pole adjusted to the current price action, it kind of stops here, is because we didn't really have acceptance back into it yet. So we're kind of using it as a form of resistance. So once we see the acceptance, I'll adapt my pole to the current price action. We're slowly crawling up towards this uptrending momentum that's been holding up Tesla for since April 12th, 2024. We got earnings coming out soon. April 28th. It's going to have an impact over the price action. So we could see that. We could see a slow crawl down if we don't get above that 50-day EMA until we have those earnings reports that could either A, impact a loss of this momentum and drop us down, or climb us back up for acceptance back inside this value area. And these are big days you got to watch out for if you're trading stocks. Just like token unlocks for crypto, you got to watch out for them, and capital raise events. But that's pretty much it. For me, to be bullish, the hyper bullish again on Tesla, for me to feel confident that we're going to be getting back up to that value or high again, I'd like to see us get back above that 50-day EMA at 416.77. And that's an evolving price, so I'll keep adjusting over time. And getting in now would be a front run to that, so you'd have to watch this as your primary threat. So if you see any opposing structure, like an SFP off this wick, or a low time frame bearish change of character, like the 15-minute, then I would say like we might not be winning that battle, and we could be coming back down and squeezing between the 200 and the 50 again. I hope that helps you out. But yeah, pathing would be something like this. Hit our head off the POC, potentially come back down, and target liquidity above these highs at 455. Go back to Bitcoin, see what it's looking like. We got a proper internal pullback. We got above the VWAP. So anyone who's in a short, their position's at risk now. Yeah, acceptance inside that orb. We can get that full rotation up to the orb high again. But this pullback is giving us proper internal structure for a stop loss guard. So if we hit our head here and come back down and close below our key level, we can use this as our stop loss position. Which is kind of what we want if we want to have good R&R. So it would turn this into from like a 1 to 4 to like a 1 to 1.7, depending on how high we go up, of course. If we go up too much, then it'll eat away that R&R opportunity. Look at the SPX here. Big rounded top. These round tops usually, in a daily environment, lead to harsh corrections. If I just remove this indicator for a moment. Rounded double top, rounded double top, rounded double top. Like each event led to harsh correction. It's a little internal one here. And we're kind of forming one now. The private credit concerns are pretty high right now too. If you guys aren't already informed by that, I'd recommend looking into it. Private credit's looking really unstable, and that could cause another 2008 situation. Like, it's pretty rough. We'll see what happens, but they're already freezing withdrawals. So again, we're getting, just like Tesla, kind of getting squeezed between the 50 and the 200 EMA. We had a loss of, we had this rounded top scenario here. We got squeezed between the 250 before we had a correction down. We had like this rounded top here. Same thing, bit of a squeeze between the two. We had a big drop down here too. Rounded top, squeeze between the 200 and the 50. Big drop down. You just go through history, you can see how we perform every time this occurs. And we have that early warning spark happening now as we speak. This is a big key level. We lost an internal key level here. Looks like it rotated actually here, sorry. We got that higher high. So when we lost this, this was your early exit. And now this is a big what if. If we lose the 200, we lose this local demand, use it as resistance, we could see a harsh correction again. The floor on these things are kind of unpredictable in comparison to stuff like Bitcoin. I kind of mastered Bitcoin's key levels for support, but I'll be looking at previous highs like this as a form of local support. And demand zones that we can find. So I could see us if we lost 6,534, move down to 6,141. This is basically going to lead us to this as a target. The SPX is a slow-moving asset. We have a broad momentum here, evolving momentum here. If we maintain the evolving momentum, which is not likely because we're going to have likely have a bounce reaction here. But if we maintain that momentum, we can get down here in 50 days. If we maintain the broad momentum, we can get down here in like 200 days. It's like a long-term drop in that case scenario. But typically, when we retest key levels and use them as resistance, the pace of the sellers speed up dramatically. We could look throughout history of the SPX and see that. Yeah, so it's not looking great, in my opinion. We'll find out, see what happens here. This is a big dictator. We got 200 in this key level here. And the Bitcoin could follow that with this fishhook structure. Bitcoin right now is testing the orb. Getting a close above the orb could lead us back up to the orb high. We can prepare for another sweep or a close. Close meaning up, sweep meaning down. But I'm kind of in bear mode, so I'm kind of hoping that we use the the orb as resistance and come down and lose the VWAP, lose our key level in this demand. Yep. Bitcoin above VWAP? Yeah, we're above it right now. If you look at JASMY, yeah, we can do that. Top of the afternoon, DJ. How you doing, man? I gotta close this tab here. It's taking a lot of virtual memory. There we go. JASMY. Okay. JASMY. Last time we looked at it was on the 13th. I think that's Friday. Yeah, Friday the 13th. Kyle, when do you redraw your value areas? I draw them when I see demand or supply. So we have an impulse move down, and then a bullish change of character or flip. I'll draw it out for you. It looks like we might have been wrong on this one. Let's see. So JASMY, we were preparing for a loss at this key level for a drop. We did have the drop. We did have a drop, but not the drop that brought us down to the value area again. So we had a sweep of this high here. Yeah, I'll go over the value area stuff in a moment, man. But yeah, here we lost momentum. We had an internal bearish change of character, and it brought us back up, but we stayed above this this strong low here. Then we had this inverse head and shoulders posture that eventually led us to a break. We retested and came right back up to this our 525-day value area high, which came from this value area back in. Let's zoom out on that daily. Yeah, from back before we lost it in February 2024. Ranging there for 525 days. When we got acceptance into that, we had the risk of getting that full rotation down to its value area low, but we were being kind of held by this really macro demand zone. Its value area was used as support to keep us up. And this is kind of like the equivalent to Bitcoin's 59.9K level, this wick level low. But JASMY has not taken its October 10th crash wick level. Macro positioning, it looks like this thing wants to go up, but we have to get back above that 50-day EMA. We're fighting it right now. We're at the value area high. So right now we're in an area of confluence for shorts until we close above that 50-day EMA on the macro and use this value area as a form of support. If we use this value area here as a form of support, we'd leave that 500-day one, and we could start coming back up where I'd watch out for this supply. We have a little supply here, but it gets bigger and bigger as we progress along the way up. That could induce a reversal. So if we do get that confirmation, I'll be looking for a move likely to around 0.0746. But until then, we have to use the current confluences that we have until that confirmation as a form of interest for shorts. So right now, being at the value area high, the local value area high, and the 525-day value area high, and just sweeping all of this liquidity here that we had marked. We can adjust this now. We have liquidity here that we can watch out for. A wick level here for an SFP potentially. Can zoom in on the 15-minute. Delete this. There's really low liquidity on this exchange. Binance is, you can see, look at the price action, so much friction in the charts. Usually when you see these kind of candles, it's either an indication of poor liquidity, lots of slippage, or a non-frictionless issuance system were to cast out rewards constantly. I don't think JASMY has that, so it's more likely to be poor liquidity on this exchange right now. So we could lose. We're kind of below the 50-day EMA right now. We have a bit of a bearish flip because we had a proper pullback here, but we didn't take the high, so it's not giving us a change of character, and that's normally what I look for. We have this demand here that could hold us up. So it'll be hard to trust shorts until that's mitigated. If you're not already in one, like this is a pretty aggressive candle. What's the value of that wick? 1%, okay. Yeah, same kind of scenario as Bitcoin, where we could just come down and grab all this liquidity from below. So we're just looking for a reversal structure. That could come to us in a lot of forms, but what I would prefer to see is this high being taken before coming down, so we can have a good solid high confluence level here. We got a dragonfly candle here. It's that could induce a pullback back up, but otherwise we can wait for the mitigation of this demand, break a structure leading below it, stop loss guard, and come down. Like this is in itself could be the opportunity, and you could try to get in on a lick. A lick is like, think of it like the golden pocket of a wick level. So we can come up and come up this high. You look for very low time structure. I wouldn't do this on something like JASMY. I'd recommend it on like Ethereum or Bitcoin, something like super high, or even Solana. Just seeing like low time frame, like 3-minute bearish change of character inside like a lick scenario. It's pretty choppy. Yeah, sorry about this one. I can't really define a good strong key level other than waiting for the mitigation of this supply. But we have high confluence. We're in a high confluence area for shorts. You can target as low as like 0.00547 value area low here. And then you can seek for continuations at that point. It's about like 1 to 2 from where we are. Hit our head off the orb. 11 minutes on that candle. What's 5 minute look like? Nothing convincing yet that we're going down. Yeah, low time frame, we could see a bounce off this internal demand VWAP to lead us back up and continue this uptrending momentum. Oh yeah, when do I draw my valley areas? So we have a bunch of examples on Bitcoin for like smaller young ones that just occurred. So basically when I look for in valley areas is the supply or demand zone. So if we have price action come up, build a base of structure, impulse move up, bearish change of character. If we test this demand, another bullish change of character. During that moment, I would pull a fixed range volume profile. If we came down and we mitigated that demand during this event, or at any point in the future, I then include that into my pull. Same thing upside down, right? Price action comes down, base of structure, it's creating supply, bullish change of character, hit our head here, start my pull. And then I look for longs and shorts at the valley area highs and lows. So valley area lows, look for longs. Valley area highs, look for shorts. And again, if we mitigate the supply, I would include that into the pool. If we look at Bitcoin here, this is like the big supply concerns. We had a little supply here as well. But yeah, from here forward, we have a valley area until we escape it, right? And at this moment, we're using this valley area high as a form of support. So I will not continue my pull of this valley area until we get acceptance back in it, right? And if we deviate too far, then it normally would become its own valley area here. And then we're using previous valley area data to help us until we have a new formed one. So this is an example of one here. Yes, we're stopping our pull until we have acceptance back inside. If we look locally in the low time frames here, we created, we had an impulse move up, basic demand, come up, had some opposing structure, bullish structure, started a valley area during that moment, this being the demand zone that has not been mitigated, so we don't include it into our pull. It's like the floor that was created in that valley area was caused by this demand. Same thing here, where we had not too big of an impulse move up, but we had a base of structure, used it as support. Opposing change of character here, bullish change of character here. You start your pull. So some valley areas are useful, some are not. But yeah, we have like a mini guy here. So what I'm kind of hoping for with this data that we have is something similar to what we had before over here, where we lost a valley area, mitigated our demand, and had evidence of us escaping that valley area and returning back inside this 34-day valley area to extend our target from here down to that valley area low until we see an opposing warning telling us to get out, like we had here. And how that look around here, like this is our demand zone here, holding us up with the confluence of 50-day EMA. So we come down, close below this key level, mitigate this demand. We could use the internal high as our stop loss guard with the confluence of the VWAP, confluence of the OR protecting us, right? And then jump in on a short here, watching us, like watching out along the way down for opposing threats. Like, for example, that 34-day valley area, just like last time, you're watching out for that. In hopes for acceptance inside so we can extend our target from here to our valley area low. And if we have any early warning signs telling us to get out, then we listen to them. And those early warning signs could happen, like honestly, like here at 71.9, we have to watch out with the uptrending momentum and confluence with this valley area high. There's a little demand here, so that could induce a bounce. So if we see a bullish change of character here, we might have to get out with peanuts, right? Small amount of gains instead of the gains that we were asking for. So we had to wait for the confirmation, but we're almost there. Or we were almost there, at least, until we kind of pull back. But this pullback's good for evolving our stop loss. So rather than having a stop loss way up here and risking to lose $100 to try to gain 400, we could risk to lose $100 to try to gain 555. Let's see what happens. But patience will keep you from losing a trade. And sometimes patience will give you a better R&R scenarios too. Just wait for all your rules to be met. Write them in a checklist format. If they're not all checked, then you don't take the trade. See you later and call. Trade safe. See you, man. Yeah, 69 viewers. What's up, guys? Yeah, do you guys have any requests for us to look at anything? I got about 20 minutes left, and then I got to work on that copy trader announcement, creating a video on how to get yourself set up on it. And hopefully, yeah, I'll give you guys the signal too for this short when it confirms, unless it happens very soon. Could be creating another bearish order block. We technically tapped one here. This is one right here. I can pull up my order block indicator. There. It's grayed out because it's been mitigated. But here we can see that we had our order block created, and during this moment we mitigated it. And when this candle, or if this candle closes below this wick, then we'd create a new one right here. XRP, we can do that. Hi, Kaya Takasite, you showed is awesome. Thanks for that. CVD showing bearish signs now. Kaya Toka. Yeah, a lot of, this is the 1 minute chart. So you can see it in more sensitive data. We've seen a lot of long positions being closed. We had divergence here, representing absorption. Sorry, this is open interest. But yeah, the massive sell wall. What I really like is the order books on the right hand side. Massive sell wall of over like 1,100 Bitcoin at 7,000. Yeah, 74,980. That could suppress the price to go lower. Looks like liquidity is being guarded there too, with that sell wall. So a big player might have jumped in. They're protecting their position. Doesn't mean they can't lose. Market makers only have a 60% win rate. Just so you're aware. And with our strategy, like the clairvoyant strategy that I teach with value areas, we're trading alongside the market maker, kind of using them as a tool and trying to. We don't always front run their exits, but we can front run some of their entries and stuff. Or at least have a game plan of where they're planning to jump in. SFPs are kind of like jumping alongside them. This is where our market maker would normally get in. They induce the drop, exit. But we need to get, in order for us to have the R&R that we're kind of asking for, we need this candle to close below this VWAP now and not get higher. Or else we have the risk of sweeping this high again before coming potentially back down, or even closing above it and going up. 50 seconds left. I'll look at XRP and Quant. I'm just curious to see how this candle closes in about 40 seconds. I want to be below this wick. $17 seconds. 10. At BRETT. It might be I'll have time for that. There, we got our bearish order block print, and then it mitigated like immediately afterwards. Order blocks, guys, if you don't know already, there's two candle patterns that kind of dictate what could be going on in the background. Like the sell pressure that it creates those two candle patterns could represent residual sell orders that can induce the price to go down. So if we ever revisit them, we have to watch them as a form of confluence for shorts. Especially if you're using Fibonacci, they're great to stack on Fibonacci rules. So hopefully that, since we got that bearish order block print, kind of mitigating it, helped drive price down, and we're now below the VWAP a bit. I'm hoping that we stay down, close below this low, get the internal break of structure, then get the actual bearish change of character by closing below here. And then we're off to the likely drop down. All right, let's look at XRP while we wait. And then we can look at QNT. Last time we looked at XRP was also on Friday. Ooh, looking strong. Oh, we're at a big liquidity zone. Yeah. When we looked at XRP, this was a key level that I mentioned. It would give us a bearish change of character that would drive us down. We ended up hitting that momentum I warned about here. And squeezed against it. So we have this downtrending momentum here. And then we had our, oh man, okay, so we had this low. So this is all internal. That's awkward. So we weren't really invalidated until we got a close here. So this was the candle that told you, get the heck out of your short. If you jumped in on a short from here, congrats, you would have been profitable either way. Not as profitable as obviously you would hope. You would want that momentum to break and get that full rotation down to the value area low. But the buyer's momentum kept us up. Always check the order books when you're coming across the trend line. The order books will tell you if the trend line is actually going to be honored or not. Otherwise, it's just a line on your screen. But yeah, here we broke bullish. We broke above here. Got above the VWAP. Loss of momentum. Warn us that we're coming up. We'll be watching this supply concern at first. Looks like we hit our head off it, gave us a pullback, but we got to break a structure. We never had the bearish opposing change of character telling you that we were going to actually go down. We still got continuation structure. All right. We can delete this. Delete this now. We had a lot of almost moments. We had a flip here, but not a bearish change of character. Yeah, a lot of almost moments. Another pullback here. This would have made me probably close my trade if I was in on the long. Maybe VWAP would have kept me in, but the confirmation candle, this was an SF. We had an SFP, and then we had a bearish change of character on this candle here, and that candle closed below the VWAP. So I would have closed at least a portion of my trade. If I didn't close my full trade, I would have, yeah, I would have kept a partial amount just to hope that this would hold from this demand zone here. So we'd have to watch this along the way down. We have a bullish order block here. Right now we're looking at the 15-minute. So this is the 15-minute order block. I spelled minute wrong, sorry. OCD. But yeah, we have a huge amount of liquidity clustered to this spot, right where we are. It kept on stacking and stacking and stacking because we weren't taking the highs. We kept adding more and more and more liquidity, and it all started to pool in this box zone that we have here. So we finally just took that Now that could be used as exit liquidity. That could be used as entry liquidity. When it's above you, you should assume it's going to be used as exit liquidity first, right? So it could drive the market back down, because this is an area where anyone who's jumped in with a very large position, let's say on these lows, this is an area where they would plan their exit because they can get out with the least amount of slippage or least amount of price impact over the asset. So now that we grabbed all that, we could be coming back down into this value area again. But we have to first assume that this value area could act as a form of support. So 144.983 is now going to be a key level to watch out for. Let me adapt my poll first, because we are in it until about here. So we can refine our level. It's at 144.727. We can look at lower time frame structure. We can see we have a bullish 3-hour order block here. So this could be good confluence to keep the price up. So this is an area where you could actually prepare for reversal structure for longs to front run a potential, I say potential because we don't know this is the unclaimed high yet, but if we come down here, then this would be an unclaimed high. And we target that unclaimed high in hopes that it breaks for a strong continuation, like a very strong continuation. Like Bitcoin's kind of on the edge of confirming something similar to that right now. Its supply is like I normally prepare for this to be a big concern, but this guy here, think of it like a sword that just pierced right through that armor. So this is significantly weaker. They keep the price down. So we'll see if we keep getting continuation posture. This is our next area of concern at 167. And we have a big supply barrier here. We have an order block here. Inside that supply, I would actually recommend boxing the whole thing. And just be aware that inside this like equilibrium point right here, there's an order block waiting in the 3-hour time frame. But first we have to assume that this is going to drive the price down. Uptrending momentum. So based on what we see here, like we could see something like a retest, bounce, maybe take this high again, and then prepare for a drop. But until we get structure like that, our current key level is way down here. Unfortunately, it's pretty low. I think this would give us the bearish break, loss of VWAP, mitigation of the 15-minute order block, but the drop down is could be short-lived. We could see a bounce here. But if we instead of seeing a bounce, we see a break of structure using the valley area high as resistance, loss of this momentum, I think that would warn you that we're coming down. And at that point, I'll be watching the point of control at 136. Some demand along the way. Got a little order block here. Demand zone here. Yeah, if we're going to get a top before potential acceptance back into the value area, it would likely be this moment. Like right here. I'm hopeful for that kind of structure. Because if we retest these and get that bounce, you can get the SFP entry. And then you can be reactional to see how we behave here, reactional to see how we behave here. So basically babysit your trade in these moments and hope for continuations. QNT was request. I'll save this layout. I think we have a QNT chart. want to take a quick peek at Bitcoin. Oh, right on. Okay. We get what we want. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we got... It looks like we kept sweeping our key level last time we looked at it. All right. Quant might have some relative strength, guys. So Quant is bouncing off 150-day previous point of control. If we zoom out on this thing, it's from this valley area here. This valley area, yeah, 150 days, 155 days old, induced by supply here that kept us down. So we came down to revisit that point of control. We used it as a form of support. Looks like we had a rounded bottom, double bottom structure. The double bottom neckline was induced by this supply that kind of kept us down, right? So this in itself is its own valley area right here. And we kind of use that valley area high as a form of support during like this moment here, right? So this is warning us that we could be coming back up to revisit this valley area high, kind of how we have it drawn here. And then we have to watch this to act as a form of resistance. So we have our 150-day valley area high here. We have a previous valley area low here that we were ranging in for 111 days. So QNT loves to range, but its percentage bound movements are huge. Like we have just from this little valley area, it's like 5%. It's not too bad. From this valley area low to this valley area high, it's 25%. This valley area was intense too. 20%. What I would draw, I would recommend looking at these wick level highs for opposing confluences. The newly formed one that we just got here at $70. Psychological key level 2. Look for rounded numbers. People love typing them in the order books. So if you see a giant sell wall in the order books at a rounded number, they tend to knock the price right down like it did here. Go to the 15-minute. Blah. Okay. So we have a bearish flip here, not a change of character. If we close below the same level that we're looking at for the move up is also our level that we have to watch out for a move down now. Our valley area high here is 65, 61. We have like a demand zone that was built right off of it. So we can induce a range in this moment for a little while. But same kind of scenario to XRP where we have this steep key area. If we come up here and sweep that, then we could be coming down. If we close above it, then we have our strong continuation up. I wouldn't trade this right now. A little ugly. But if you're holding a long position, then congrats. I could see scenarios where you can get in down here. But right now we're in a spot where you should prepare for a potential reversal if you're not already in an existing position. But this break of structure leading out, this is a trend-bound rule that normally induces us to come back up to previous valley areas. And this valley area high is at a previous valley area low. So I'll be bullish until we potentially close below here. And Bitcoin's the boss. Yeah, Bitcoin short's almost ready. Yeah, we're really close. Got a good proper internal pullback for a good new stop loss guard. We got to change of character here. internal strong, internal high, VWAP guard, orb guard, value area high guard. We'll have a value area low guard. I think 4 or 5 guardians for our capital. So super strong invalidation point. It's not a true invalidation point when it's internal like this. Like this is definitely the proper invalidation point, but here you're kind of asking for better R&R, but a decent probability that, like, if this is broken, that we're not likely going to be breaking that. If we broke that after breaking this, then we're very likely just going to be stopping out anyone who has their stop loss up here too. Almost 6x our risk. And anyone's in a short already, like some people jump in on shorts after order block creation, like we just had one now. Some people jump in on shorts after SFPs. So anyone who's in an existing short, this would be an opportunity to add to your existing position. Not financial advice, but only if you have experience doing that and knowing how much weighted value you can do to your trade. And it's much better adding to an existing trade if your stop loss can remain in a profit zone. So, like for example, if you entered a short here, right, and then we had acceptance into this value area here to extend our target, technically I'd be watching this right now for like a 1 to 2. But if we break past that, then we extend our target to like a 1 to 5. Right? So at this moment, you could add to your existing position if we have a break of structure leading in. But you want to usually try to add like equal value. So if you added, let's say you jumped in risking to lose $100. So you want to add equal weighted volume to your trade so that when this happens, your average will be around here and you can keep your stop loss at like a strong high or at a key level like around here. So it's in the profit zone so you can't lose money if you were to add to your position. Pretty much you got to ask yourself the question, if you're like, is this a reason to enter a short? And if it is, where would you put your stop loss in that scenario? If you're in an existing position, then that stop loss could be in the profit zone. If it's not in the profit zone, then it's usually not a good idea to add to your existing position. Because doing that comes with added risk. Good morning, man. How you doing? Can we look at Brett, please? Yeah. Could do that. BRETT. That's a meme token, though. Bybit's usually the best. So Brett flip bearish here on the 15-minute. It's already got what we're asking Bitcoin to give us. The bearish change of character. So sign of relative weakness. Loss of buyer's momentum. It's pretty darn steep though. Let's zoom out on this thing because I haven't done TA on it, I don't think. Okay, I did in the past, yeah. Let's go to the daily. So this thing's in a forever downtrend. Some price discovery right now. Fishhook pattern, just like Bitcoin. It does look a lot like Bitcoin, where we have like a fishhook structure. Supply keeping us down here. Polar fixed range. This is our supply. It has been mitigated. We came up to about this moment in our range to include for our pull from here to here. Grab a different time frame now. Okay, this is the supply floor that kind of kept this down. Got broad momentum here. The pace of the buyers. We have bullish order block confluence here on the valley area. High. So we have to first watch that. Anyone who's in an existing short on Brett would have to watch this as a opposing threat in hopes that it gets mitigated for a continuation into this valley area. Kind of lost this. These previous highs here kind of helped us come up, but we lost them as support. So that's big warning sign number one. Lost the VWAP, lost the orb. So we're on our way down right now to 0.007811. How old is this valley area? This valley area is probably a little over 30 days, right? 39 days. Point control is at 0.007158. We have a barrier prior to the point control. Right here. Not just this one, but we also have this guy here to worry about. The order block inside of it internally. 0.007445. So what you kind of want to see, we got the bearish change character. This will likely lead us to our hourly order block. We got to watch this for opposing threat. If we get acceptance into the value area, then we have to watch the uptrending momentum and confluence with this order block. And that can induce a reversal and bring us back up. But if we break past that, then we're watching the POC. But overall, the floor is roughly around here. If we kept continuing, this is likely going to be around the floor. Grabbing all this liquidity along the way. But Bitcoin's kind of king, so just make sure that Bitcoin kind of agrees before jumping down on anything. We're on that fence of agreements right now with Bitcoin. Based on the pump that we're seeing, Bitcoin might be going back up a little bit. So I usually don't recommend jumping in on shorts on alts unless Bitcoin has its key level breaks too. We're really close. The front run, the front run, the front run, a confirmation. Nathan, you clicked on remove notifications from Kyle, Brian, and other trainers. Kyle asked Kyle, need to know how I can structure my new training. All right, cool. Yeah, I reshaped the Discord a bit to help people coming in so they can. I have to redo the orientation course because of that. But the Discord looks a lot different. So yeah, I'll get back to you as soon as we can. I have a really tight schedule today. But yeah, here under alerts and roles, if you click on that, you get your roles and who you want to get notified from for like signals and stuff. I updated the news section, so now you can get whale alerts and Watcher Guru alerts and general crypto news. I'm going to add one more to that. But if you click on the news section, for example, it'll completely hide this or add this. So if you don't want the news on here, then you can remove it entirely. So you can just focus on the signals or stuff like that. We'll figure it out. Let's see what's going on with your account. Oh, Bitcoin speed's slower now. But I like seeing, like when we're looking for shorts, I like seeing weakness off the orb like this. And us to stay below that VWAP. We're a candle close away. Just need a candle close below here. No problem, man. It was in a different spot, so it might be kind of confusing because it moved things around. Trying to make things a little more beginner friendly. All right, guys, I can look at maybe one more asset and then I gotta go. I'm just begging for Bitcoin to confirm this while I'm with you guys so we can jump in together. But realistically, it's pretty simple. We just need to have a 15-minute candle close, not a wick, but the body itself, right? I'm looking at the bodies, like not even of a candle, right? This is a wick. A wick is not enough. We need to have the body part itself close below here. And then we're using, I'm personally using this as my stop loss guard at 74,027. Depending on your exchange, that high might be a little bit different. So make sure you sync it alongside your exchange because the price aggregator might be a little bit different. The liquidity could be different too. So close below here will confirm the drop or give us at least a high probability that we're going to be dropping, right? We're working on statistics. We lose the VWAP, we lose the 50-day EMA, we'd mitigate this demand from that close. We have proper acceptance into this valley area that we were in back here. Again, giving us like a higher probability of a rotation down to the value low, which isn't very much. It's not going to give us very much, but that would give us a mitigation of the demand. And then a little bit of babysitting at this uptrending momentum here. And then if we lose this, we'd lose this local point of control and it would fall right down to 70,300. And then this is the big guy that we want to have broken. At 70,300, if we break that, then we have a high probability of a stronger rotation down. You guys have access to my charts. So if you want to look at each one of my key levels that I'm concerned about, you can just type exclamation point charts in any channel in the server and you get access to it. Which exchange had great paper trading? I lost a lot of money. Fear of money. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend trading with real money anyways when you're first starting. And if you are, you do it with like $100. Our good paper trading exchange is Blowfin. I've got the link in the description down below. So when you are ready to trade with real funds, you get a bunch of discounts and stuff like that to your trading fees and cash returns to your trades. But yeah, Blowfin's got a really good demo system. So you can demo trade on there, and you can really master your risk management, master your rules, master your ability to jump in, jump out. It's not going to train your emotions, but it will train your execution, your ability to be disciplined with your rules. I recommend creating a journal too. I'm going to be releasing a journal hopefully today, not like an internal one inside the Discord itself, using the Discord form system so everyone could share their journals, like their logs, and then we can go through your trades as a community and see like what we could do to help you improve or learn from you if you did really well. No problem. Yeah, Bluefin's great. There's a bunch of good demo platforms though. But if you do it directly on an exchange, then you can learn the mechanics of that exchange too. We can do it. Come on. Upgrade it to here. We're still within it. We lost the evolving momentum. Starting to lose this evolving momentum here. Oh, we already lost it, sorry. Now we're coming out through here. You can delete this noise. Where do you find the live training? So that's pretty simple. When you go to the Discord, you'll see coaching call links right here. It'll show you the schedule. We also have a schedule available for everyone to see right here. What membership you need to have in order to jump into those calls. We have one tonight at 4 p.m. Eastern. We also have, I set it up so that you guys get timestamp codes, so it will sync with your time zone too. So it'll show you what time it is in your area right there. Yeah, coaching schedule will show you the schedule. So will coaching call links. Then you just click on the button when the time comes. Trade hunting, trading masterclass, market structure study with Lucas, David's mindset and swing trading study, and weekly analysis with Brian. You can also go over here where it says events in the Discord. And when you click on that, you can get notified right before the call starts. But we also have another notifying system too. Right here, call alerts. It'll tell you 15 minutes to 30 minutes before the call starts that it's about to start. Let me try to have fun with the pictures. Get Brian. Get Beer's Brian there. David likes to use lunar cycles in confluence with his setups. So we got like the moons in the background there for him. Got Lucas riding a bull. All right, guys, I gotta head out. Bitcoin's being super slow. But yeah, I can do a quick recap. The confluences that we're using for this short is the 50-day EMA being lost, the mitigation of the demand, the deviation of our 34-day value area, right? As we're up here, we should be focusing mostly on shorts for acceptance back in until we have a confirmation of that exit. And that confirmation of that exit will come just from a candle body close above this wick. That's all we're lacking right now. We almost had it this morning, but we SFP'd instead, warning us that we'll be coming down to this level here. So when this green candle swept this high, it told us that we could be retracing to this low. And we were about 95% of the way there before we had to bounce off this newly drawn momentum here I got drawn. But yeah, we grabbed a ton of liquidity, so just a matter of waiting for that confirmation. If we don't have the confirmation, then we're going up. That's just that simple. And if we go up, then the ceiling that I'm concerned about is the 8-hour, 12-hour order block here. If I zoom out on the 8-hour, you can see it a lot more clearly. Oh yeah, my indicator's on, so I'll show it too. So right here, it came from this level. At least we had this red candle here that confirmed it with this doji. So this is a big boss. 79.388 is the 6-hour change of character. The 6-hour will flip bullish during that moment. It doesn't mean we can't have a strong pullback after it, but then market structure will say that we're bullish during that moment. And at that point, we could see us climb up on a journey towards 86.6, which is this 75-day valley area low. All right, so we have the bullish case scenario, the bearish case scenario. I prefer the bearish case scenario because it's easier to trade, it's safer to trade. If I prefer it to go up for my portfolio. I don't mind my portfolio going up, but as a trader, I prefer it to go down. As an investor, I prefer it to go up. But you just take whatever confirmations, what they give you. All right, guys, I got to head out. You have yourself an amazing day. I will signal you when I jump in. I could probably create the signal now based on our current structure, but our current structure can be invalidated if we close above this wick level high here for our stop loss suggestion that I'm going to post. So yeah, candle body close below here, stop loss here. First initial target is 70,300 in hopes that it evolves to a target as low as 65,700. But yeah, I'll jump into the tickets, and I got to record a couple of videos for you guys today too. Can you show us the volume indicator? Yeah, before I go, I always do this. It's PVSRA. You can screenshot it. I'll type it up. PVSRA. Traders Reality. PVSRA. If that's what you're talking about. Otherwise, if you're talking about the fixed range volume profile, it is over here where you find your long and short position tool. Fixed range volume profile here. Both are free. Yeah, both are free. All right, guys, have a great day. Reach out to me in the Discord if you need any help with anything. Remember, I will not message you first. There's lots of scammers out there impersonating to be me. And today we'll be announcing the copy trader system, and I'll show you how you get all connected to that. All right, guys, you have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30. If you're a member, I'll see you tonight at 4 for our trading masterclass call. See you guys.